All right, we're rolling.
All right.
Ready to go?
Let's do it.
Okay, what's up, guys? Pond-Off's Anonymous, episode 14. As you,
Here we are.
as you guys can tell, and it's not like you're fucking stupid. We're doing this a little differently. Today, I'm in my piece of shit basement that's floods quite often. So if I get electrocuted live on the air here, it would potentially go viral for the wrong reasons, like most things do.
That's right.
Jeff, where you sitting, buddy?
I'm sitting in our guest room. You can see the closets behind me, and yeah, man, this has been my office for the last. So I was on vacation last week, which didn't turn out to be much of a vacation because we had to pivot at work, man. So here I am, day 2 officially working from home, and day, 8 or 9 working offsite.
Yeah. Takes some
What's that
getting
been like
used to.
for you? Yeah. How have you liked working from home?
Well, I have done it before. I'm an outside salesman, account manager for the company I work for. So we have an office in Maryland Heights, and I am normally in that office or in my home office and on the road. So it's a hybrid of the three. So the hard part is Ashley often calls me an 8. I don't know what that fucking shit means, like the Enneagram shit or whatever. I'm an 8 with a wing and a ding and a ding-a-ling. I don't know what the fuck, but I got. I think what she's trying to say is I'm an extrovert. So
fair.
So the cabin fever is an issue, and we'll talk about that today on episode 14 of Pond-Off's Anonymous. We also have a 6-year-old. How did my friend put it? 6-year-old or Spitfire, and I call him a caged lion with, and it's fucking raining. Like, I think tomorrow and Thursday are going to be great, so we're going to run this prick like he's a Weimaraner. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But you got to, man. These kids, they're wound tight, so and it's probably a little bit healthier for him than Minecraft all day, which is what he's into.
Sure. Yeah.
But before we get started, I want to talk about that little camera case over your left shoulder.
It's over my left shoulder. It depends how this ends up looking, because it might be in reverse, so that might be a mirrored image. We don't know.
Hold on, Jeff. I think we're having some technical difficulties.
Uh-oh.
There you are.
Okay.
All right, bear with us.
Yes.
We're doing this.
Obviously, a new territory
it's a sign
for
of
us.
the times.
Yeah.
Right. So thanks for your patience, y'all. But what's that case over your left shoulder?
Man, that case goes to this microphone that we're sticking here that we got given to us, man, by Heil Sound Company. Heil Sound is, man, they're just a legendary company, and it's the coolest thing that someone reached out and said, "Hey, you guys are doing great work, and you ought to sound good too." So we've got these new mics. Hopefully we can tell the difference here in the sound. But
I don't know much about the equipment side of the game, but they fucking look awesome. Like this gold thing I'm talking to. I mean, that's fucking rad, dude.
I know.
Like this
awesome.
shit. I feel like I'm Buddy Holly. Like I should get up on stage and start. Maybe not, but I look at it. I feel like a fucking rock star.
It's funny, Chris. Today, John Carney, he's a local radio dude here in St. Louis. He posted a picture from his home studio, and John had the exact microphones we're using. So we're coming up, man.
How about that? So, Steve, thank you, brother.
Yes,
we appreciate you and your company as we are trying to keep this podcast rolling. Production costs are for the time being absorbable. It's just out of pocket stuff that that we're doing. We haven't partnered up or even asked anybody for any type of money yet, as we're doing this right now just for passion, and we'll see where that takes us. But there is a way, if you guys are listening and you're fans, and I don't know if I want to say fans. I mean, we're not no fucking. It sounds douchey. Well, not fans. If you like what we're doing and you subscribe to the mission, if you think the content is funny or engaging, the way you can help us is liking all the social media bullshit that I get. Right, Jeff? Isn't that what you're telling me to do it? I got two guys kind of that advise me on this world, and they say the way you guys can help is to subscribe on YouTube, rate our shit on the podcast. Good.
Yes.
Don't be a dick about it. Please. That's not Christian. Let us pray. Amen. And share the fuck out of it so people can, and really it's not the end of the day, it's so the reach, we want to expand our reach. We want to impact people, and it's crazy how much that is happening in just 13 completed episodes as we sit here to record our 14th. It's a pretty fucking incredible phenomenon that's going on. So we wouldn't be reaching people without those of you that have done your due diligence on the interwebs, on the Insta and the Facebook and the Twitter, shitter and ditter, all that stuff. That's what my old man used to call it. He caught me around fucking around on my phone. He'd be like, "What are you on that Facebook, Twitter, shitter and ditter? Why don't you put your whole life out there?" He was one of those.
I don't want to see your breakfast, man. Chris.
Yeah, fucking old man. So yeah, man, Jeff and I, after that, not a self-promotion, but we really appreciate it. We're grateful as fuck for all of you, and like I said, we're here to help. We're here to we want to ride the storm out with you, this virus shit, and we know it hurts a lot of people from the illness perspective, the ways of life, the businesses that are being fucking crushed like a fucking watermelon in a vice. Like, it's brutal. So we want to keep the podcast going. Like I said, it's pretty easy to do. It's not costing a whole lot of fucking money. And hope there is some laughter. We'll try to cry with you. We'll try to make you laugh a little bit. And we'll try to spread a little bit of fucking hope, because I cling to that. I mean, to say I cling to that is an understatement. You got to turn the fucking news off every once in a while. It's a lot of doom and gloom. For me personally, if they're going to if this is all over for mankind in the next 3 or 4 days, I don't want them to live the next 3 or 4 days all fucking doomy and gloomy and pissed off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So kind of that's the goal of this episode, and however many we do in quarantine. Jeff and I have been talking about it a lot this week. So to dive into this thing, Jeff, how you doing, man? How's your week? How are you feeling? You posted something on Facebook that was good, and I appreciate you sharing your shit out there, because people really appreciate it. I know that I do, as a guy that struggles with anxiety and could get like pissy depression a little bit, and I appreciate you sharing. So how are you feeling, brother?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm doing a lot better this week so far than I was last week. Because I was saying as I said on Facebook, one of the things that triggers my anxiety big time is like losing that routine of things. Like, that's huge for me. So my routine was upset last week in a major way. I was out of the state I was visiting my brother-in-law and his wife and their new baby, which was awesome. But meanwhile, things were going crazy back home at my job, and we were trying to pivot. I've shared this. I work at a church, and we couldn't gather. And our name is The Gathering, and we couldn't gather. So we were trying to pivot, see how we could do the thing on the internet only. We were successful. My team did awesome, which was super helpful. But on pins and needles, obviously that whole time leading up to it, just freaking out, hoping it works, and wanting to be a team player, but also knowing that I need to respect boundaries that I've set for myself, and respect my family. That I'm on vacation, I'm with them at the time, that kind of thing. But I'm doing a lot better today and yesterday, because I couldn't sleep the other night, and I decided to make a little list of what I plan to do to manage my anxiety. So that list is what I posted on Facebook, and I think so far I've done a pretty good job of maintaining that list of things. So for me, and I can go into it a little bit, I'll make it fast. I've just decided I'm going to wake up early. Yeah. I'm going to have coffee and make a list. I said this, I'm not a list guy at all. I've never done it in my life. You've mentioned on the podcast that you've been a list guy for a while now.
No, I mean, that's putting it fucking mildly. I'm a OCD list. I got lists coming out my ass.
Gotcha.
And it's been crucial. So I was going to touch on that. So you're making lists?
Yeah, making lists. I've got a list app because I'm not a guy. I don't write things down, which I might switch to that too. I might switch to writing things down and write 2 sentences and my hand hurts because we never write anymore.
That's funny. Yeah.
Yeah. But I got an app for that, and that's so far so good. Checking stuff off the list.
Good, man.
And then the other thing. These are just tips that I've decided for myself, and if they help, that's great. But for me, I'm making the commitment to get up and get ready just like I always would. Get in the shower, change into maybe a different set of pajamas, maybe real clothes.
Change your underpants at least, right?
At least change my underpants.
Good job.
And then since I'm working from home, start work on time. Keep the routine. We're using Zoom, and we're using this thing called Slack to keep our meetings in place. So I'm still meeting with people just like I always would, just from here.
Nice.
So that routine's important. End work on time. So I set some boundaries and try to end about the same time I normally would, and then be present with my wife. So
still married?
Still married. I don't know how. She's home too. She's a school teacher, man. This is me knocking
on wood. What's that? Sorry.
I said she's home too because she's a school teacher. So
sure.
So she's trying to figure out what is the next step for her, for them, and I don't want to say where she teaches, but the school district it's struggling just to figure out what to do for their kids
on a good day. Right?
That's right. You're
From what
right
I know
about
where
that.
she works. Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, she's an angel. Don't tell her I said that. She'll get a big head.
Of course not.
Yeah, man, it's really something, and I've kind of posted a little bit on Facebook as well as where the Pond Offs Anonymous Facebook page is probably right now our number one medium for posting some things, sharing some things. That we do Instagram. We have a website that we're working on to revamp. But for communication, I mean, we get a lot of people flock into that. I would say not necessarily flocking to it; they're hooked up to it by liking it, right? Right. Flocking to shit, but they clicked like, and so they can see some of our posts. But I did post, man. I think it's because it's the arena that this podcast is in is I'm hyper focused on the guys like us, or the guys that have anxiety issues, have depression issues, that especially guys like me that are in recovery, whose whole fucking routine and world's been flipped upside down because they can't go to their meetings. I mean, I know some fucking guys that go to 3 meetings a week and then some just to keep on keeping on. And they can't do that right now. So the urge of temptation, of relapse, that temptation is so fucking real for these folks, and it's powerful. I mean, back when I was heavily drinking, I looked forward to like a fucking brutal tornado, so like we could sit and get hammered in it, and it would like stop the world for like 4 hours, and we could just sit by and get shit-faced. And
right,
you know, sometimes dumb enough to get in a car and try to chase the storm, which was always a fucking brilliant idea. But you know what I'm saying? Now, you know, this is it's like something we've never seen, obviously. Everybody's in it. Everybody's in it together. And thank God for where we've gotten as a humanity as far as like communication, the ability to do this, which is one thing I wanted to talk about today on the podcast. It's spawned I don't know if it's an idea. It's definitely not a new idea. There's things out there for it. But we created a group within Quaran-F Anonymous called a PA meeting room. And it's a group. It's got about 4 members, me and you and Megan, who was on, shared her story a couple weeks ago, to help. If anybody wants to join it, you know, you gotta. I think when you on Facebook, it's one of those closed groups, so you request to join. We'll accept you. It just, if somebody's gonna be a fucking asshole or Joe Jerkoff, we can get rid of them, right? Every group gets a couple of those, but the point is, we need a place for people to come and vent and bullshit and be around like-minded folks. So if you guys are interested or you know somebody, you got to send them to our Facebook page at Quaran-F Anonymous and have them reach out. The group should be accessible in there. It's called the PA meeting room. It's I guess closed group is what it's called, because it's just not open for anybody just at right now. I mean, it is open to anyone. That having it a closed group lets us have a little bit more vetting. If somebody starts becoming an asshole, we can
kick them out.
Yeah, and it's not like, and I'm not meaning, I have a pretty, it's not a like one strike you're out thing. If just somebody's being an asshole to someone else, we don't want that shit going on. So point is, we are, it's available. Feel free to join it. Feel free to contribute. Feel free to share, tell your friends, not necessarily recruit, but I know that if you are in recovery, and Jeff mentioned this earlier, are hooked to a fucking routine and structure. I know I am. I mean, and it's Jeff mentioned list. I mean, my details of my day I write down, and I have for 2,191 days. Because I'm so routined. It's what keeps my mind clear of clutter, and that's all flipped fucking upside down right now. For those of us that are in recovery, or also those of us that aren't in recovery yet but are using or drinking, like, this is going to make that even worse.
Yeah, man, the meetings are closed.
There's people that don't have the... What's that?
I was saying the meetings are closed, but the liquor stores are open.
Yeah. Wide open.
Yeah.
They're essential business, right?
Yeah. It's crazy.
And listen, I'm not trying to get between anybody and their wine bottle. We don't need a bunch of mad women with their, I'm not going to, my wife is one of them, take her Pinot Noir away.
Right.
She needs it. We need her to need it. So I'm not shutting down liquor stores on anybody, but what I am saying, what Jeff is saying, is you might not be able to get a fucking roll of toilet paper, but you can find a handle of Rock Gut whiskey pretty fucking easy still. And I know for a fact, if I was this was going on 2,191 days ago, I would be stocked up on R&R Rich and Rare whiskey that's like $9.99 a fucking handle, and I would drink it all day, every day. I would not, until I passed out, like I did, and have nothing to fucking live for. And it's there, it's real for everybody right now, and that is front and center of my mind. I'd be business, small businesses. There's obviously, we're concerned and praying every day for the people that are sick from this shit. Our fucking heroes of doctors and nurses, grocery store clerks, people, social fucking workers, that still have to go out and serve the people that are homeless and on the margins. Like, you're seeing everyday heroes, and we'll segue to that. But as we pray for them, and I just got a fucking note 30 minutes ago that my cousin has to cease operations at Olive and Oak and Clover and the Bee out here in Webster because he doesn't want to risk his employees. He doesn't want to. There's errors in food handling. I mean, that just human error, right?
Yep.
And so they got to shut her down, man. So we're grieving is the right word. We're fucking grieving with all of those folks. And for the podcast purpose, where I think we can help, Jeff, because everybody says, let me know what I can do. I mean, I text my cousin, what can I do? Well, there's probably not shit I can do unless I had like a fucking million cash sitting in a couple shoeboxes down in the sleeky ass basement that I could run. I mean, you know what I mean? Like my best friend's business over in Belleville's fucking hurting, man.
Yeah.
So like you feel helpless. In this area, Jeff, I don't feel helpless. I feel that you and I can help these motherfuckers, that we can provide a safe place for them. So what if it's on fucking Facebook? To have a virtual meeting. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be the best place ever. It's not going to replace their local meetings where they have their community and they have their accountability structure in place. But it could be maybe a little bit of a life raft to help us float and stay afloat while we're until we can reach that metaphorical fucking beach and get past this. And and that's what I mean. That's why I wanted to put this out there, man. This is where we can help tangibly. Yeah.
I think too is like we're using this tool to video conference each other. Man, let's set up some video chats if we need to and talk directly.
It's you cut out just for a second there as we're doing this unedited like we promised. But I mean it. This is what we can do. We're not doctors. We're not surgeons. We didn't stay at a Holiday Inn last night, but we can help. Just fucking listen if you want to vent. Offer some tips on making sure your brain's not your own worst enemy. Making sure that your addiction or your alcoholism isn't in the driver's seat 100% of the time through this shit. We can be there for you, and we can help you guys do that. We're eager to do that. Work from home or not, it does leave. There's a lot of fucking time on our hands, and that can be that's a part of the scariest thing. That whole idle hands is the devil's fucking playground, right? Like we gotta. And it's easy just to throw out the cliches, about hope and about keeping busy and, do housework. Certainly. And I know, I realize that our grandparents and our great-grandparents were sent off to fucking wars and had their lives disrupted. And really all we're being due is to be called to sit on our couch. But for people that are in recovery, that's a personal hell. is just to be quarantined in a house, and not just people in recovery, but people in. I mean, I think every day of people that are the lonely folks out there that we're all trying to fucking destroy. People that are lonely, that got to sit at home now and be lonely all day, every day. People that are in fucking abusive ass relationships, or I saw something about that, you know, that have now stuck in those, you know.
Man, this is stuff you don't even think about sometimes.
No. Fucking kiddos that are in shitty situations and I know there's this stuff going on about the school meals as people understand or getting to realize that some poor fucking kids out there, that's the only food they eat is at school. Well, for a lot of those same kids, it's the only place they find joy, the only place that they're not getting the shit kicked out of them. So man, there's fucking prayers to go around. Oh, this is a nasty, nasty deal. And hopefully, you know, it's over sooner than later. And I would highly recommend for those of you that are listening that are struggling don't lose sight of your hope. I've said this before on this podcast. I've said it 100,000 times probably that you know, somebody can take my family from me, they can take my life, they can take my money, my house, whatever the fuck, but nobody can take my faith and my hope and my love, like that, you know, shit you see at Hobby Lobby on fucking license plates.
Right.
But really, that's a true fucking statement. Nobody can take the hope from you. You can give it away, you can lose it, but nobody can take it from you. So cling to it. I think it's super powerful during this time, because I know a lot of folks are just consumed with hopelessness.
Yeah, for sure.
So I that's kind of just the message. I don't got a couple other things we'd like to talk about today, but that's kind of my coronavirus message. Even calling it a message is a little like fucking self-ego shit. I mean, I don't mean to come off that way. It's just what I wanted to say on this podcast, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Not trying to come off as like a fucking know-it-all or even a pastor. But I am, you know, and not regurgitating, but Jeff and I share the same pastor, and he did a great job on Sunday talking about hope and talking about, you know, redemption from shit. So it's ours to give away, but I would highly recommend hanging on to it and clinging on to it and focusing on it, because it'll make you a happier person and a more bearable person to be around. Ask our wives, right, Jeff?
Yep, that's right.
Stay on top of your meds and, you know, do the easy, simple things that seem so simple that you're like, I don't fucking need that. AKA making lists, AKA writing in a gratitude journal. I mean, Mike said it on when we talked about bipolar. Like, he does 2 writing exercises every morning that's his routine.
Yeah.
You know, another group of people that are yet to be diagnosed or diagnosed with bipolar. This is a fucking tough time for them, because routine, as we talked about it, is such a big deal. So try to get into some kind of routine and do a little bit of writing, a little bit of reading. Use your fingers to write, even if you have to, Jeff. And but I do have a good gratitude app. In the AA world, they have some helpful apps, and one of them was this gratitude app that I downloaded. And I don't know how biblical it is, but it gives you some daily Zen. Zen. It sounds like a herbal tea. Daily Zen. Some of it's good shit, but so there's 3 there's really just, it's simple stupid. There's 3, I guess, buttons on this app. Once you open it, you have your gratitude journal where you can write what you're grateful for and why. And I do this every morning. There's the affirmation, which is the one in the middle, which I don't do as much. Probably a good idea to take my own fucking advice here, but
Yeah.
and then the third one is the daily Zen, and so I have that, and this is simple shit, but it helps me, and it probably can help y'all. Like, and then I have the Holy Bible app, and it has a verse of the day, and it's funny how many times it really fucking tugs at your heart about the shit that you're like, how the timing aspect of it. Like,
yeah, that happens all the time. It's crazy.
It's right. So it little things like that can really probably help with some of your sanity during this season of uncertainty, and really it's kind of paralleling this how we feel right now to grief. We're all grieving, like our ways of life are changing and may not go back to the way they were. We're grieving people dying. And not to sound like Captain fucking Obvious there, but we're grieving. And like, this is also a grief recovery podcast, as I've stated, and I've written about. Grief is a broken heart, man. And people's hearts are fucking literally breaking, man, during this time. Yep. And the things that Jeff and I are talking about, and just, without the PhD next to our name, post hole digger, but we're just offering tips that may help, and they have helped. I've seen this shit work with people. So
yep.
What the fuck do you guys have to lose if you're one of the guys or gals that needs to hear this, or if you know a guy or gal or whoever that needs to hear this, tell them to tune in, and we're going to keep on keeping on while we're quarantined up.
Yep. We got a lot to learn about how to do this remotely, but we're going to do it. And I can say that for literally everything in my life right now. How do I do it remotely?
Yeah. And so yeah, with that, bear with us for some technical difficulties if we have any. I know on my end, Jeff's mic's broken out a couple times, but we'll fucking figure it out.
Yep.
And I swear I don't have like a button like anytime he starts, saying that liberal shit where I hit mute. That's not what's going on here, I promise.
I'll keep the liberal stuff to myself.
Ashley made all my Trump decorations go to the basement with everything else of mine because she's not on board. But so I took all that shit down, so I don't want people on the podcast seeing that, being like, this fucking asshole.
Well, listen, now you just let him in, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I just let the cat out of the bag. But we're just one team, one dream, baby. We got to get in this shit together. We got to help our friends, our neighbors, our family, even the family members that, the Chris Pondoff of your family. Give him a shout. He needs help. Send him this podcast. Everybody's got one. But yeah, time is one thing we have on our hands. So if you guys want to email us, our email address is on the website. It's cpondoff@pondoffsanonymous.com orjallen@pondoffsanonymous.com. Reach out to us on social media. We're certainly not big enough now to not respond to messages and
that's right,
and emails. So I have a good feeling we're probably never going to be in that position. So just shoot us a note, man. We can just be someone to pour shit out to that kind of gets it. If it's in the the anxiety, depression stuff, either one of us can play in that field, or if it's in the alcoholism or the addiction, yeah, definitely don't hesitate to reach out.
Yeah.
Please, like we said at the beginning, share, subscribe, or is what it's called on YouTube, right? Subscribe it.
Yeah. Like
the videos if you like them, and we're really grateful, and it's gonna expand our reach to a lot of people. I think we're already at a number that I couldn't have imagined, but just started doing this for fun. So what's the rest of your week look like, Jeff?
Got to make Sunday happen. That's what the rest of it looks like.
Yeah, that was a bad segue, but I wanted to get to Sunday and how, now you're seeing all the churches. The one we go to is all streaming online, and it's a completely different business model. So,
yep.
To use maybe I shouldn't call church a business model, but this is all I know. So now instead of, like you had mentioned, gathering a shitload of people and on Sunday mornings, you got to do it online. I'm so grateful that it is online. It's part of the routine. Like, get up and watch a church or ours or a church service, and then like we've had to cancel Easter, and Easter's a big deal at any probably Christian church, but we like had the fucking Chaffetz Arena rented out for this sumbitch, and had to close her down. One of my biggest struggles is with all this. It's not, it's going to be like first world problems, but like I'm like fucking dope sick, fiending for sports.
Yeah. Have you seen some of the news guys? Some of the news guys are like, they're finding clips of kids playing in their basements and stuff, and they're calling their hockey games. It's kind of cool.
Doug Vaughn did that last week.
Did he? I like it.
On that note, on Sunday, I found myself watching a fucking Nintendo race. Like a bunch of NASCAR guys were not, it's like iRacing. So, I'm like glued to my television watching the NASCAR stars race this video game. That's how bad it is, man.
Were they actually racing? They were the guys actually playing the game?
Yes. Yeah, there was a bunch of... it's a real thing in NASCAR and motorsports, is these fucking simulators are so sophisticated, like flight simulators, that some of these guys haven't been in a race car. They do this their whole life, and then they're so good, they put them in a real-life race car and start making... one of the kids in NASCAR, like the young stars, is how he cut his fucking teeth on this iRacing. Wow. That's what I should do, is get me they call it a rig. Get me a rig.
Probably costs more than a car.
Yeah, I don't think I'd get the approval from upstairs on the rig. But yeah, there's that's been a real struggle on my end. I don't know if you guys if y'all that are dumb enough to watch this fucking podcast can see. That's all my, like, some of my sports shit. I call it it's all my hockey stuff, and over the years, and a lot of Game 7 stuff that I'll still share on the podcast one day. But
yeah, I can't wait for that.
We got some cool things coming
Blues,
up.
By the time that Stanley
this
Cup
episode
winners
drops. What's that?
No, I just said the Blues are back-to-back
Jeff.
Stanley Cup winners, right? Is it dropping?
Cutting out pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They probably won't hear it, but it'll be okay. Keep going with what you're saying. No big deal.
I can hear you now. Repeat it.
I just said it. Does this mean, how does hockey work? Does that mean the Blues are back-to-back Stanley Cup winners?
In my world, they are.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. The longest reigning Stanley Cup champions in history.
There you go.
So we'll go for that. And that's awesome. I just get to continue to relive the memories. But I by the time you guys drop this, you'll have seen these pictures. I'm going to release some pictures of me so fucking fat and drunk, just wasted. And probably tomorrow, Jeff. Today is Tuesday.
Yeah, tomorrow's a special day.
The days are running. So at 10 p.m. tonight will be 6 years since my last cocktail, my last drink. So tomorrow's my 6-year sober birthday, and I think tomorrow I'll post something on the Pontiffs Anonymous Facebook page of pictures of my fat ass, fucking hammered, passed out, drunk. I think one of them, somebody sent me a picture of the morning after my ex tried to kill me. So
jeez.
there was a I think she got me with a whiskey bottle in table. Broke my CPAP machine over my head, and came at me with a knife. But all is well. Wasn't a very Christian evening, but
Oh my God.
and let us pray, amen. But yeah, so I don't know. Maybe I'll hang on to that picture. But I'm gonna share some. We're gonna well, I think we should try to do like a 30-second clip of this. Could you? And we'll throw that out there. I don't want to turn into a fucking circus clown on the internet, right? This is a recovery podcast, a grief recovery podcast, and unedited and authentic and all that shit that we proclaim it is. I want to stick to that.
Yep.
But I'm fucking bored. Like there's like this quarantine's gonna get me in trouble if I get my mouth going like on the Facebook statuses. So I got to be careful with that. And I think that goes for everyone out there. So we'll have some content, I guess is the word that the hipsters are using these days for you guys to feast on. And we'll stay in touch. I mean, you guys reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you.
Yep.
Jeff, you got anything else you want to add to episode 14 here? It's kind of, we're doing it off the cuff.
Yeah, I don't think so, man. Hopefully we'll have some guests that'll join us this way virtually soon. We'll see.
Yeah, I have a couple that we probably would have done, but you know, we can't all be fucking breathing on one another, I guess, is what they're saying.
Yeah. It's probably a bad idea.
Titty bars are all closed.
Yeah, I drove by.
Miss Kitty's, Hollywood, Scarlett's, they're all fucking closed. Nobody's getting any loving. Poor girls. Support your local businesses. You know, they're private contractors, if you didn't know that, Jeff. They aren't necessarily direct employees of the club. They rent their time.
Okay.
It's an interesting business model, but it works.
So they can't unionize? No unions for strippers?
I wouldn't say that they have a union boss. It's called their pimp. And then, anyway. I'm not making fun. It's real life. It's
a legit way to make money, man. It's no big deal.
Hey, you know, to each their own, right?
That's right.
We're not here to judge.
Nope.
Just in my experience, don't try to marry one of them. Yeah, that's never mind. Anyway, about the content. Yeah, so we had some guests. We also were going to do like a podcast series where I had done the first one called it The Ugly Liability, where I just became a liability in everybody's fucking life. Yeah. The second part of that will be, maybe we'll do that next week since we're quarantined and is that the word that we're using? Quarantined?
I guess. What was it? Social distancing was a big one.
That's
shelter
hard to do
at
at Larry
home.
Flint's. Yeah, shelter at home.
Yeah, and then quarantine. I guess quarantine's if you've been exposed and you got to stay away from people.
Okay.
But
so I should probably stop using that. I have speaking for myself. I don't think I've been exposed. I haven't been told.
To my
I've been
knowledge,
exposed.
I haven't. Yeah.
Right. So we're not officially under quarantine. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, maybe next week we'll go to part 2, and I could just talk about the lack of reliability that came with my life and all that shit. Got some good stories to tell there, but yeah. So bear with us, ride this out with us, and we appreciate all you guys being here and playing along with us. I hope it was an interesting conversation. I hope we made you laugh a little bit, made you cringe a little bit. I try to do both. I've been told I do both well, so we'll see. But before we go, you know, I don't want to turn anybody the fuck off here, but maybe just a little podcast fucking prayer for everyone, and it's the way that I pray. I'm not the guy that says, oh Lord, save us, blah blah blah. I talk to God the way that I talk to my friends, the way that I talk to my old man. Pisses some people off, but if they stayed in their fucking lane, it wouldn't bother them. But so God, this is we're here. We're fucking hurting, man, and we need you to step up for our for the people that are sick, for all the heroes on the front line, the doctors, nurses, social workers, the folks that are working grocery stores, the teachers that are still sending our kids shit to do so they don't drive us fucking crazy. Our kids, man, their fucking routine was gone, and they're stir crazy, and they're not seeing their friends, and our small businesses that are just taking a fucking beating right now, and nobody caused this. Everybody's hurting. Please, and our hearts for those that are struggling with recovery, with mental health issues, those that are in the middle of their battles with their addiction, their alcoholism, their mental health shit, that keep the hope alive for them. Comfort us all, man. We really fucking need you ASAP to step up and help us. I know you're with us, but there's a lot of people out there that are just suffering from a lot of hopelessness, and you got to fix that for them, man. You got to fix that for them, please. Please empower the decision makers in our capital to stop being fucking idiots. Pardon my French, God. I know you were working on the language thing. I wasn't Christian, but they need to fucking get their heads out of their asses and do what they can to help more. We don't ask and beg and plead for this shit, but once a lifetime. So please help them make wise decisions and be there for them and their families as well. Everybody's fucking sacrificing now, so I could do this all day, God. We need you. Show up, please, for those that are really struggling, and we're gonna be here every day. I'll give us the wisdom and the courage to be able to help folks that come to us, because if they're coming to us for help, they're in a real fucking shithole that they need help. So please hear this prayer, man. We need it. It's in Jesus' name. Amen. Thanks, Jeff. For all you out there, we're praying for you. Pray with us, and we love you guys. As always, let us pray.
If you're struggling or know someone that is, please have them check out our podcast and reach out to Chris or me. We want to listen, and we're super eager to help. Pondoff's Anonymous is Chris Pondoff and produced by me, Jeff Allen. Our music is Anti-Hero by McCall and Gentle Waters by Wild Wonder. For more information, visit pondoffsanonymous.com. Find us on Facebook and Instagram.